Hey everybody, welcome back to Champnsons and our Madden 21 franchise where we are with the Denver Broncos as we have really, for the most part, turned things around. Coming in after our loss to Kansas City, we went into Green Bay. AJ Bouye had two interceptions plus the pick six, and holy crap, I really hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I think that's how it is. Could be totally wrong. Um, but we had a good bounce back win. And so, with where we are in the season, right? We're set up in a good position. We have only the one loss coming into it. So it's not too bad for us at this point. Uh, I am still looking at some of the re-signings. I haven't gone through to do a lot of that yet. Still checking out what we're going to have available in the draft. I did trade away some guys to Miami, so I do have a top pick. At one point, it's fluctuated kind of between 1, 2, and 3 of more recent times, and so knowing that Bouye is a little bit older, I'm taking a look at some of the cornerbacks that we have available. There's not a whole lot of really good ones. Now, that final little gem is that you know projected 6th round obviously is actually a 3rd round talent. Um, so still seeing what we have available is kind of what we're waiting on at this point. Now we are going to go ahead and jump into this game right here against Kansas City. This time we are at Arrowhead Stadium as we are facing off against Mahomes, and we are halfway through the first quarter at this point, about 7.5 minutes to go, as we have finally reached the red zone here at Kansas City at the 20-yard line, where Drew Lock's going to get the snap from the shotgun, roll to his left, and fire it over to Jerry Jeudy, who's going to get about a 12-yard pickup all the way down to the 8-yard line, giving us a 1st and goal. As Jeudy has really come through these last few weeks as being our primetime receiver. And normally, as I said, you love it when you have two on the outsides. But I don't know. I think Judy's making a statement that he wants to be the one and only. We'll have to see how the rest of this season kind of plays out. So 1st and goal from the 8, we're going to hand it off to Melvin Gordon. And he's going to get a good about 4 yards. But now he is hurt. Melvin Gordon is going to be out for this game. So that is since on the kickoff, Xavier Cone did get hurt. We have to bring in our 3rd running back, Truman, who's holding off as Drew Lock rolls to the left and just dumps it to Jeudy right there in the middle of the zone. On that 2nd and goal play from the 4, looked like he wanted to run it. And then we saw Jeudy come open right at that last second, and so we just dump it off to him, as that gives us the first touchdown of this game here in the first quarter. Now we're going to jump ahead to about the 14-minute mark of the second quarter, as we do lead now 10-0 here in Kansas City, and Patrick Mahomes is going to be brought down on that one. They were driving to get a score, but we are going to come through and bust him in his chops. As he tried to roll out, just happened to run right into our man. It looked like Devontae Holt right there, bringing him down for the big-time sack and a loss of 7. So now 2nd and 17, Mahomes under center with 3 wide receivers and 1 tight end off to his right side. He's going to take the snap, and he drops back as we continue to try to add the pressure. And we're going to bring Mahomes down once again. 2 sacks in a row. A'Shawn Robinson with his 5th sack of the season. Big time play by our defense, knocking Kansas City all the way back to the 24-yard line, bringing up a 3rd and 22 here in this second quarter. That is what you have to do to stop them. You have to get pressure. If you can't get sacks, Mahomes just picks us apart. So now 3rd and 22. Mahomes drops back, and it looks like they're going to throw the screen pass. Austin Rose is on the outside, and he's going to bring his man down as he gets the tackle for a 4-yard loss, as that screen pass was going nowhere. Big time play by our defense and our rookie stepping up to the plate on that one. Now, we will add 1 touchdown after their field goal. Pretty uneventful touchdown, but we do get it added still. So we're going to catch up about 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter as Kansas City does have the ball, and they are going to go hurry up as they try to drive down on our defense and get back within one score. Mahomes lofts that one up, but Tyreek Hill's going to come back and actually make the catch right in front of our man Bouye, who had a great week last week. He's got his hands full with Tyreek Hill, but that was only his first catch for 16 yards, so he's doing a pretty good job there. So now at the 37-yard line, Mahomes drops back, and he's going to find another man wide open on the left side for a gain of about 9 yards to bring up a 2nd and 1. Now, they have not used any timeouts. Well, I speak of the devil, now they do use a timeout. They hadn't used any timeouts coming up to that point, and so that will be their first one with under 1 minute remaining here in this game, or in the second quarter. Let me rephrase that one. This time Mahomes is going to drop it off to another receiver coming right over the middle as Kansas City will use their second timeout after a pretty decent gain there. So now with the 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line, Mahomes in the shotgun all by his lonesome here with the 1st and 10. Gets the snap, scans over the field. We bring some pressure, but he's able to get the ball out of there. And they make a man miss, and we finally bring him down. They're at about the 10-yard line after a gain of 8. 2nd and 2. Kansas City going with a hurry-up, trying to save that last final timeout. Mahomes drops back. We bring big-time pressure right up the middle. Unblocked, basically. A'Shawn Robinson gets his 2nd sack of this ball game, as that one will be a big one, forcing Kansas City to use that last timeout. And so they are going to try and kick a field goal here with about 8 seconds remaining in the quarter. And this one is going to be up. And we almost get the block on that one. I got to get used to that. Y'all know last year they had the catch animation. This year, or the field goal block animation, but not so much this year. All right, so now jumping ahead about halfway through the third quarter, we have added another touchdown, and so has Kansas City, as this score is now 24-13. And we get a big pass off there to Cortland Sutton coming from right to left, as he gets a good gain for us. And that is going to bring out a next-gen stat moment. As Drew Lock dropped back, drifts to our left. We kind of gotten in the habit of doing that. Going to have to change that up. 3.1 seconds, a little bit slower than what you like, but it did take him some time to actually get open on that play for, as I said, 19.8 yard for his speed, 19.8 miles per hour. So pretty good. Now, Colin Gillespie is going to fill in at the running back position, as we do have all of our running backs injured for this one. Every single one of them. Melvin Gordon, Xavier Cone, Truman, all got hurt, as that one will be a big hit to us offensively and kind of start to make us a little bit one-sided. But when you have guys like Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, it's okay to be a little bit one-sided, as we get a pretty big gain all the way down to the 45-yard line, and that will bring up a 1st and 10 for us on that beautiful pass play. He had the time to get across the field on that one, as he does get open, and he will make the catch and get us moving. So now 1st and 10, 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Drew Lock's going to be in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and Gillespie in the backfield. Hands it off to our big fullback who's playing running back, as he will get about 3 yards on that one. 4 rushes for 12 yards. It's pretty much the busiest afternoon he's had in practically his whole career so far. But you can't fault him. Not doing too shabby for a fullback in the running back spot. Now in this 2nd and 7, Drew Lock's going to be in the shotgun once again. Multiple wide receivers and Gillespie in the backfield. He's going to scan over it, and he's going to find his man coming across the field, KJ Hamler, on that one, as he gets a big catch and brings up another 1st down. The fans of Kansas City are PO'd about that. Look, they just can't help it, all right? That's just how good we are, you know what I mean? And so now with a 1st and 10 and renewed life, Drew Lock in the shotgun once again. Stands in a big-time pocket and throws that one out there, and that one almost gets intercepted. That's the downside of being one-sided, is the team kind of starts to pick up on what you're doing, you know what I mean? But they did not get any pass rush, so we are good to go right there. And so now on a 2nd and 10, we're going to get it over to our tight end. And this time we have got a big-time gain of about 10 yards, bringing up a 3rd and inches here from the 25-yard line. 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Lock under center, multiple tight ends in on this one. He's going to hand it off to Mr. Golan Gillespie, who's going to power forward and pick up a good gain of about 6 yards on that one, bringing up a 1st and 10 as we are now in the Kansas City red zone once again. As this one is a big play for us. It is still an 11-point game, so we've got to start continually making these types of plays to get things to happen and try to add some separation, because we've seen what Mahomes can do in the final minutes of ball games. Now in the 1st and 10, we're going to drop that one off, and it's going to be dropped. That was a dangerous throw, not what I like to see from Drew Lock. So you always got to watch his throws in tight spaces. Now on a 2nd and 10, Lock's going to be under center this time. 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, as he fires it out over to Jerry Jeudy on the left side, and that one is going to be a great play by the defense as they knock that one away from our man and bring up a 3rd and 10. Now 3rd and 10, just to kind of keep this clock going and make sure we do something safe enough to continue to add points or be in a position to add points. We drop off the screen pass to Gillespie, and he's going to get stuffed for a loss of about 6 yards on that, so that one does push us back big time. And we are going to have to try a field goal at this point. 42 yards. Our kicking game has never been automatic. Before Fairbairn and with Fairbairn, it's always a risk. But this one is going to be up and good right down the middle. So now it's official, 2-touchdown lead, 27-13 here in Kansas City. So we're going to jump to about 4 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, as the score is now 30-13 here against Kansas City. We're just trying to pound this ball down and run this clock out as much as we can. Our defense has played excellent in maintaining the Chiefs to only 13 points, so you really can't ask for more from those guys. And our offense just needs to give them the time to rest and add some more points to the board just to help them out. So 2nd and 9, we're going to hand it off to Colin again up the middle, and he's going to be brought down after a gain of about, looks like 5 yards on that one, as they're going to give us 6, and that brings up a big 3rd and 3. Now there's going to be under 3 minutes to go by the time we get this ball snapped. Locke is going to be in the shotgun here with 3 receivers and 1 tight end. Kansas City brings some pressure, but Locke's going to fire it over. Cortland Sutton's got that one, and that's a big play, but he's down to the... He fumbled? You've got to be kidding me. Cortland Sutton got down to around the 10, 11-yard line, and then he's going to fumble it out of bounds, giving Kansas City new life. But look at that. It is under review. Let's see what pops up out of this one. Oh, well, that's easy. That's easy sauce right there. He's obviously down. I mean, geez, even a blind man could see that he was down, for Christ's sakes. All right, so that one is going to be overturned and given back to us, and rightfully so. Now, this clock, I am going to let it wind down to the 2-minute warning before we get this snap, just so that way more time comes off the clock, force Kansas City to use their timeout and put themselves in a poor position to even attempt to stage a comeback. So Locke's going to be under center, 2 tight ends, 1 on each side, and 2 receivers. Hands it off to Gillespie up the middle. He lowers his shoulder after going through the hole and gets a gain of about 7 yards. A beautiful, beautiful moment on that one. As we now have a 2nd and 3. The clock is still ticking. We are taking it down to the final seconds before we snap that ball, and we hand it to Gillespie. No need to continue to run it out. Just put up another one on him. Mr. Golan Gillespie with the big-time run, as that one will give us the lead and the ball game. A 37-13 victory at Arrowhead Stadium. That's a big-time win for us, especially after the way everything went down in Denver. So that was a beautiful win. Defense holding them to 3 points, getting multiple turnovers. Kareem Jackson getting one at the end and Fenton getting the final interception to seal the deal. That one was a great performance overall by the team, as we did have 308 passing yards and 110 rushing yards with the 3 takeaways to their 139, 128, and 1 takeaway. So Mahomes walks off his own field shamefully, as we are victorious, and we've now won 2 in a row since they did beat us a couple of weeks ago in Denver on Thursday night football, as they say. So let's take a look at some of the player upgrades we have. Mr. Bradley Chubb getting his speed rusher upgraded. That'll give him a +2 for his finesse moves. Now Dalton Reisner, he's our left guard, our starter. He earned himself an upgrade today. The one problem I do have with him, though, is during games he tends to get injured and is out for a limited amount of time. It's not like permanent injuries, but he generally tends to get hurt at some point. All right, so Mr. Caleb Roberts earns himself an upgrade. One of our slot receivers. He's about a fifth string receiver. He comes in. He's made some big plays for us. Don't get me wrong. He really has. But still just hasn't quite gotten up to that starting spot. Now, Andrew Rose got himself another upgrade. One of our rookies that we picked up in the last draft. He's a 70 overall. He has been coming along excellent. And that's really all you can ask for. Alani Truman, as you can see, torn labrum, out for 5 weeks. He played great, got his first touchdown before getting injured. So, yin with the yang on that one, right? You know what I mean? All right. Now, looking at the injury report, thankfully, Melvin Gordon and Xavier Cohn will be back next week in the next game against Cleveland, it looks like. And that's the one we're going to go ahead and jump to and start getting ready to get in. We've got some issues happening inside our locker room, some frustrated individuals. Xavier Cohn, you kept me out of the game plan. You got hurt, you idiot. He got hurt on the kickoff return, and how dare you not hand me the ball? Well, fine, you moron. We'll get you the ball, but don't get hurt this time. And if you do get hurt, don't be bitching about it. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say to that one. And, of course, they have their X-Factor defensive end. Guess who? Myles Garrett. So, guess what I go with on it? Just disregard. All I care about is getting the win anyways. Any additional XP for our offensive line we can pick up with a win. So, that's my theory on it. So, coming into the re-sign moment, our defense has got some good young talent playing for us, and they are playing well. So McTelvin Agim is earning himself a contract. I'm keeping it only at 2 years. One, we have the cap space, right? So I have the cap space right now, and if I get some guys in the draft, I'll still have the cap space in a few years, so I don't worry about that too much. Now, Lloyd Cushenberry, he's 76 overall, but he's 25. He's only been in the league for 3 years, and he's a good center. He hasn't gotten hurt, really, except maybe for a couple times this season. But overall, he's done pretty well, and I need a steady offensive line. Now, A.J. Bouye, he is the old man. Well, him and Kareem Jackson are the old men on the team, right? So, A.J. Bouye, he's played extremely well for us these last few weeks, multiple interceptions. So I'm going to sign him to a 2-year contract. Give me time to develop some younger guys and, maybe have that veteran leadership on the team as well. So speaking of having younger guys and veteran leadership on the team, let's take a look at who we are going to be scouting now. I think we've hit up a lot of our positional things. Wide receiver, I haven't actually looked at all, obviously. As you can see, there is some good talent right there coming up in the first rounds, but I don't think I want to use a first-round pick on a receiver with who we have at the moment. Maybe depending on what happens if I trade away Cortland Sutton, and we do have the number 1 pick. So that'll be up in there. That'll be decided come the off season. So we'll see how that goes. Now we're going to jump into the game against Cleveland, and we are going to be here in the second quarter. We do lead 6-0 at this point. It is a rainy, cloudy Sunday afternoon as we are trying to fight off the elements and the Browns and squeeze out another victory, a third win in a row, and get back in our winning streak kind of ways. So Xavier Cone, coming off injury from last week in the game, he is going to take on a pretty good role because you got to remember he is frustrated, but not on this play, as we're going to drop that one into KJ Hamler. Drew Lock finally got some time as he drifts out to the left side and delivers a beautiful ball, one of the rare times that he actually does that, as he gets that one to KJ Hamler on the move. Thankfully, they try to cover him with the linebacker, and he's able to get some space and make the catch. So now we're down to the 11-yard line. 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. Lock in the shotgun formation with the 1st and 10. He's going to hand it off to Melvin Gordon up the middle, who's going to spin off our center and finally get brought down at the 8. So for a gain of about 3 yards, as that brings up a 2nd and 7. Like I said, we are leading 6-0. So any type of score that we can take, that we can get while we're here, that is always a big-time thing to get outside of that touchdown separation. But not on that play, as Cleveland has a different thought. Olivier Vernon comes through and brings Drew Lock down for the sack from behind. And this becomes a 3rd and 18 now from the 19-yard line, as Lock is going to be in the shotgun 4 wide, I guess technically 3 wide with our tight end in the slot position. He's going to fire it over to Melvin Gordon. Just makes the safe play, which I got to kind of like that. Only for 3 yards, though, and we would get a field goal out of the deal. Now, a little bit later in the second quarter, Cleveland is trying to drive and get back into this as they are trailing 9-0. Now, Coleman is their quarterback. He's having a pretty rough day with only 75 yards on the day so far, as we got less than 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Now Coleman on a 2nd and 10 is going to drop it off to Hoop. I think his name, that's Hooper, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Hooper on that play, as he has two receptions for 7 yards, so we've kept him pretty well contained up to this point. Now on a 3rd and 9, Cleveland is going to be in the shotgun formation as multiple wide receivers set. As Coleman gets the snap, scans over the field, and drops it to his man at the right side of the end zone. Hooper, just speaking about having him bottled up. He unbottles us rather quickly and gets the touchdown on that play. Now we're going to jump a little bit ahead halfway through the third quarter, as we will have possession of the ball, the score being 12-7, with only a field goal being added by our side, as we are attempting to increase this separation that we have going on. Now, Drew Lock is going to be under center on a 2nd and inches, 2 tight ends, as he hands it off to Xavier Kona, who is going to get up the middle. He has 14 rushes for 61 yards, so we've made the man happy. All right, he's got his touches. He's having a pretty decent day, 14 for 60. So we do continue to hand him the ball, except that time we run a little bit of play action. We drop it off to our tight end. He makes the catch, and that's going to be a touchdown. Oh, my goodness. We threw it up to our tight end, and he went up to grab it and comes down with it beautifully on the one-handed reception for the touchdown, as that will extend our lead out even further to be 18-7. As Cleveland trying to come back, they do not want to go away silently, as Nick Chubb gets the ball on the left side and gets a pretty decent gain. But once again, he's been contained for the most part this afternoon, not having very many rushing yards going on. So now 2nd and 4 here from the 22-yard line. Coleman's going to be under center, sends his receiver in motion, gets the snap, scans over the field. Not a whole lot of pressure coming, and he's going to find Jarvis Landry coming down to the 10-yard line on that play, as that one was a little bit too easy. No pressure got to him, as he was able to just stand back in a pocket pretty fresh and clean. So 1st and goal now from the 10. Coleman under center once again, puts a tight end in motion. Hands it to Chubb, who's going to get blasted into the dirt. Oh, my goodness. Mr. Wallace, what a statement he made on that one. Just beast mode Chubb and just hammers him right back into the turf. As that one will stop them and bring up a 2nd and goal, but this time from the 11-yard line now. Coleman going in from the shotgun, at least at this point. Now, once again, we don't have a whole lot of pressure, so he's able to find Landry over the middle. And for a gain of about 7 yards, that's one little thing that seems to be repeating itself is what it looks like. No pressure, Coleman to Landry, big gain. So 3rd and goal, 4 yards away. Coleman in the shotgun formation. He gets the snap. Again, puts some pressure on him, but not enough to get the sack, but we do stop them from getting that playoff. Now they will get a field goal and an additional touchdown to make the score 16-18, and here they are driving, trying to get the win, or at least the lead with under 6 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Now that first play, they went down the left side, but just could not have enough space to bring that one in, so that does bring up a 2nd and 10. Coleman in the shotgun formation. He's going to get the snap. Scans over the field. No pressure being added, but we finally get some on him, and he just heaved it up. Now, we didn't have anybody there. Everybody was about 30, 40 yards away, so that one will fall incomplete and bring up a 3rd and 10. Once again, coming from the shotgun formation, Coleman gets the snap and drops back. Finally brings some form of pressure on us as he sails that one out of bounds, and they do punt it away to us. So now under 2 minutes to go, we are driving down the field, trying to keep possession, make them use their timeouts, and let's kind of just take this win as it is and go home to our, actually we are home since we're in Denver, but you know what I mean. Walk out of this stadium as victors. Whether it's 2 points, 1 point, or 10 points, a win is a win, is all I'll say about that. So on that 3rd and 1, handed it off to Xavier Code, who's had a pretty decent afternoon in all the rain and mud. He will pick up the 1st down for us. Cleveland only has one more timeout to use, and so we know we're going to be able to burn off a pretty decent chunk of time as we hand it to Melvin Gordon on the left side. He's going to get forward only for about a yard or two, nothing spectacular, as they will use their 3rd and final timeout. Now it's a 40-second play clock, and there's 1 minute and 48 seconds in the ball game. So if we don't get a 1st down, we are going to have to kick a field goal. But that one, Melvin Gordon gets stopped for a loss this time, so it looks like we probably are going to end up having to kick a field goal and giving it back to Cleveland. Hopefully we can get this last 10 yards that we need to kind of seal the deal. So Locke is going to be in the shotgun. Gordon is in the backfield with him as he is going to, in the shotgun, 2-3 wide receivers and a tight end in the slot position. Time we hand it off to Melvin Gordon, just play it safe, play it smart, and we will let this clock run out as we do have a 4th and 9. And we will kick this field goal here with 22 seconds left in this game, as that one will barely sail through, but it does, and it is enough to give us the win, 21-16 on a rainy Sunday afternoon here in Cleveland. And here's the last play. I just love how our defense did this. You know, last-ditch effort, trailing by 5, trying to get the Hail Mary off, and instead we're going to bring him down for the sack on that one. That's the best way to end this type of game, I got to say. I love seeing that sack to finish it off. And so 21-16, 5-point victory. Pretty good performance. The weather conditions were not optimal. It's not exactly what you want to see, but hey, we got the job done. It was ugly, but it worked. You know what I mean? And so we will take this one in. This will be our 3rd win in a row. We have got the winning streak back alive and operating, and that is just a beautiful thing, as I like to say. So while we do get some of these player upgrades going, that does remind me that hit the subscribe button if you have not already. And if you like today's video, give us a thumbs up, as it really does help out the channel, and we do greatly appreciate everything y'all do for us. Also, hit that little bell notification icon so that way you can be notified of any time we have any new Champnsons content uploaded. to our channel for your viewing pleasure. So Drew Lock finally getting himself a little bit of an upgrade. Not too shabby. And so, all right, that'll be it for me. I will see y'all in the next episode. We will have games against the Chargers and the Raiders, a couple division foes, division rivals. So these will be big time games that we are going to need big time performances in. So while this stuff finishes up, I will check y'all later in the next one. So, hey, as always, everybody, stay safe and, well, you know how it goes. Later, y'all.